Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. Tennessee going to be back out on the practice field this morning. We'll be breaking that down. We'll be recapping that later today. But, yesterday, practice number one, reading all the practice reports, watching all the film, the routes on air, going through drills, listening to Josh Heupel talk after practice number one. Obviously, this football team, the heartbeat of this team, we are only going to go as far as the arm of Nico Iamaleava can take us. So the question becomes, what do you think? Do you think that Nico is the guy? Josh Heupel clearly does. Josh Heupel, Spire Sports Group, Tennessee, they went all in on Nico. They could have gone after Arch Manning. They could have gone after some of these other quarterbacks in that class, but Nico was their guy. Nico is who they chose. And, I made a video couple of days ago, and I was talking about J.D. PicKell put out a video, and he was talking about quarterbacks that he would build his program around, and he said Nico's that guy. Nico's who you would build a program around. He was talking about how Nico's got all the measurables, all the athleticism. He can make all the throws. He can stretch you down the field with, that opens up the running game, and we've already seen Josh Heupel in 3 years at Tennessee have success running the football. That's where his offense starts, but, when you look at 2022 versus 2023, this offense was drastically different. And I know the outside throws to the wide receivers, the quick hitters, that's part of Josh Heupel's offense. It's an extension of the run game. When you spread them out that wide and you make the defenders cover that much space, that's what allows you to lead the conference in rushing yards per game, right? You're stretching the defense thin, but I think we saw a whole lot more of that. We saw a whole lot less taking shots down the field because we were limited by what Joe Milton was able to do. I don't think they had the trust in Joe Milton. Yesterday, after practice number one, Josh Heupel was specifically asked about building this offense around Nico, and would there be any tweaks to the offense in 2024. Let's take a listen to what Josh Heupel had to say after practice number one.
You always talk about being able to take your offense and mold it to whatever quarterback you have or whatever weapons that you have. With it now being Nico's offense, where are you guys this spring in terms of building around him, experimenting with what's best for him versus what you've done in the past? Yeah. And then secondly, where is he from a leadership standpoint in your mind right now?
Yeah. Knowing who Nico is, but also knowing that he's still growing as a player, some core principles, some things that we believe in that we feel like we need to have. We'll continue to grow in that. Some subtle things that we'll add, just based off of a player that he is and how we put him in a position to be successful, but also help us grow and change from year to year too. And so we'll tinker with some of that through spring ball, figure out, things that we feel like are best for us collectively and for him. And, kind of hone in on those things as we get into training camp. Yeah. Quarterback position, you got the ball in your hands. Everybody's paying attention to that position. You better have some of those traits right from the jump. The hard thing as a young quarterback on the leadership side of it is you're still pushing extremely hard on the fundamentals, the growth and mastering of our offense, mastering what's going on the other side of the ball. He does a phenomenal job in one-on-one situations, communication with wide receivers after, a series, offensive line, the growth, his voice within our entire program. He's got to continue to grow in that role. That's something that is true for every young quarterback, though. Expect him to continue to mold into that.
Have you ever noticed when Josh Heupel talks about Nico, when he talks about his talent, his abilities, he always gets giddy. He always gets a little smile on his face. I think Josh Heupel knows what he's got in Nico. And, he talks about growing as a leader and his communication skills, and all that is going to come with time. But when you talk about Nico and you talk about him being young, and so many people, the argument about Nico is, well, he's not ready. He's just not ready. He's too young. By the time he walks out there on the field when fall rolls around in 2024, he's going to be a part of this football team for almost 2 years at that point. He was an early enrollee. He went through bowl practice with that team in 2022. So he has been a part of this football team. He's been around the offense, the coaches. It's his time. Do you believe that Nico's going to be ready when push comes to shove? J.D. PicKell was back at it again, talking about college football's most impactful quarterbacks in 2024. He's got more great things to say about Nico. So if you're sitting there, and I get it, battered Vols syndrome is real. It is real, and you're thinking, oh, here we go again. It's all hype and nonsense in the off season, but then they always let me down when fall rolls around. Josh Heupel believes, J.D. PicKell believes, Josh Pate believes, all the talking heads believe that Nico is who we think he is. Do you believe it? Put it in the comment section. Let me know. We're going to take a listen to what J.D. PicKell had to say, but as always, do me a favor, smash the thumbs up just below the video. It's quick, free, easy, helps the channel. I would appreciate it. Also, if you're new to the Talkin VAWLS Network, welcome. We're not experts. We're not insiders. We're not media. This is sitting around with the boys talking college ball, Tennessee Vol football, all day, every day, 365 days a year. It is for the fans, by the fans. If you like what we do, make sure you subscribe. Click that bell for notifications. You're not going to miss out when we go live or when we drop a video. I'm going to be live later tonight, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm going to be playing some NCAA football, but guess what? We're going to talk all things Tennessee football. Practice number 2 will be in the books. We'll talk about it all tonight, so come hang out. That's a good time. Tomorrow, Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, Talkin VAWLS live. Myself, Coach Jay, Coach Rice, Dauber will be in the house breaking down spring camp, all the storylines going on, and then every Sunday throughout spring, 7 p.m., we're going to be doing a fan call-in show where you, the members of the channel, get an opportunity to come on. So make sure you hit the join button down below, get that membership renewed. That way you can come on, hang out, or if you just want to support the channel, you can do that for as little as $1 a month. Let's jump into it and take a listen to what J.D. PicKell had to say about the most impactful quarterbacks in 2024. Keep in mind, he said he would build his program. You see the shirt he's wearing there, program around Nico Iamaleava. Let's take a listen.
Another team that needs to be talked about here as a powder keg if their quarterback translates the way that he could translate is Tennessee. Think about it this way. In 2022, did anybody want to see a healthy Tennessee in a 12-team playoff with Hendon Hooker and company? Hendon Hooker, let's say he never gets the knee injury and he stays rolling at a really elite level. He's probably in New York City for the Heisman Trophy ceremony. It's neither here nor there. But, imagine you see that team in a 12-team playoff. I think you could see a version of that from Tennessee this year with Nico Iamaleava. The number 1 player in the class of 2023, no physical limitations to his game. He can run it. He can throw it. You saw it in the bowl game with the RPO stuff they did with him. If he's able to hit the ground running and be consistent with throwing the football downfield, this offense is ready-made for him to put up big numbers and for Tennessee to score over 40 points a game.
Do you think this Tennessee offense is a powder keg? Do you think it's ready to explode? Because I think that's the difference, right? We look at 2022 when this football team led the country in scoring offense, 46 points per game, number 1 in the country. And then you move forward to 2023. Joe Milton takes over, 31 points per game. You dropped off 15 points. 37th in the country. Defensively, this Tim Banks defense has gotten better year in and year out, and I think they're going to continue to do that in 2024. So is it just Nico? If Nico rolls in and he is who we think he is, do you think Tennessee jumps right back up to scoring 40 points per game? Because when you look at the schedule for 2024 and you really break it down, what team on this schedule in 2024 is going to hang 40 on Tennessee? Again, you talk about the defense. In 2023, they gave up 20 points per game. What offense is going to hang 40 on the Vols in 2024? It's a powder keg. And the comparison here is Nico to Hendon Hooker. Can he be similar? Can he be comparable to what Hendon Hooker did in this offense? And I'm not disrespecting Hendon Hooker in any way, shape, or form. 3rd-round draft pick, should have been in New York representing Tennessee for the Heisman Trophy. I mean, I think you could point to him and say, this is the guy that got Tennessee headed back in the right direction. Hendon Hooker is a VFL. Hendon Hooker is a Tennessee legend. Hendon Hooker went down the field with 15 seconds left and beat Alabama for the first time in 15 years. Absolute legend. Coming out of high school, he was a 4-star recruit, 25th best quarterback in the country. And I know recruiting rankings aren't always the end-all, be-all. It's not. 354th best player in the country. We're talking about a 5-star quarterback, the number 1 quarterback in the country, the number 1 recruit in the entire class. If he is who we think he is, then Tennessee's offense is going to be what J.D. PicKell is calling a powder keg in 2024. Let's hear more from J.D.
You don't believe me? Look at what last year was. Joe Milton, I don't think he was bad. I think he probably gets a bad rap in terms of how people talk about him. But he wasn't near the productive nature that Hendon Hooker was. Still, what happened? Tennessee scored 30 points a game. 30 points a game. That'll get it done for you in most cases. So if Nico's able to be a version of what we project him to be out of the high school level to now having his first real chance to be the guy at Tennessee, he's going to have a chance. He's going to have a chance. Tennessee's going to have a chance. Josh Heupel, we talked to him a year ago. We also talked to him this year, but we talked to him a year ago, asking about how good Nico could be at Tennessee. He said he is as talented as a quarterback as he's been around. Mic drop. Josh Heupel's been around some good quarterbacks. And saying Nico has as much juice as any of them, shouldn't overlook that.
Best quarterback Josh Heupel has ever been around. J.D. PicKell said it there. Josh Heupel's been around some pretty dang good quarterbacks. You know who else said that Nico was the best quarterback he's ever been around? That would be his high school coach, Kevin Pearson. Said Nico's the best quarterback I've ever been around. He's a first-round draft pick. He's a future Heisman Trophy winner. You know who else Coach Pearson coached? That would be Bryce Young, a former Heisman Trophy winner, a former #1 draft pick. Is Nico the guy? Do you believe? That's the question today. That's what I'm asking you on this bright and early Tuesday morning as we get ready for practice number 2. All we can do is talk about it. We're going to find out this fall if Nico is the guy. It's college football playoff or bust in 2024. Do me a favor on the way out the door. Smash the thumbs up. Quick, free, easy, helps the channel. I would appreciate it. Go check out the Talkin VAWLS merchandise. Bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS. The link is also in the description below. And if you want to help the channel, you want to support the channel, think about hitting that join button down below. You get a Power T beside your name. I try to highlight your comments in the live streams. You get access to fan call-in shows, custom Talkin VAWLS emojis, all kinds of fun perks and benefits. But if you can't afford to donate, you can't afford to give, that is fine. I understand that. Smash the thumbs up. Jump into the comment section. Let's talk about it because this is the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. Go Big Orange.